Let's go. Music now? Any music in the audio? And this is the underground. Well, everybody, I hope you have sound. Much love. Good evening. Here we are. I'm not sure what happened there. When I use external speakers most of the time when I go live and I plug them in, and this time when I plugged them in, it didn't recognize them. And I don't know. At least we got it working, right? So, yeah. Hopefully, me resetting everything and doing that real quick there on the restream. 5x5 with echo, huh? With an echo. Loud and clear. Anybody else hearing the echo? Are we good? All systems go. 5x5s all over the place. Sounding groovy. Trying to make sure that we're good here. Coming in loud and clear. All right, for the most part, from everybody. All right. Good. All right. That sounds good. No echoes. All right. Just wanted to get that out of the way because there's nothing more frustrating than people saying they can't hear or this and that. So, all right. Got a lot to cover tonight, as you guys can see in the title. Well, all the stuff surrounding Iran. Dive into the nationwide chaos. And thank you for the feedback, everybody. As always, want to thank everyone that shares the stream. Thank you very much. all the crew out there. If you got anything to get to me, it's dabu7@yahoo.com. Thank you, Raymond. Or you can at me like Raymond just did there in the chat. And thank you. Much love, Beach Girls, Cecil, Sean, Walk with God, Blue, Johnny B, Brian, O Frog, Ava, all the mods, Deanne, Jeffrey, Corey. I hope all is good. If any of you guys live in West Virginia, maybe you caught wind of this weather event that went down, but the way that they happen anymore is they can happen and hammer an area hard, just like I'm going to show you here, and people in the same state don't even really know what happened. When we get into West Virginia, just very similar to where I'm at, you get into the Appalachian Mountains. In those mountains, if you get a lot of rain that gets dropped at the same time, like within a short period of time, flash flooding is like compounded. It's not just like flash flooding, it's like compounded. These areas turn into like bowls that fill up the hollers and things like that. It happens quick and it washes everything away. Any trailer, any house, anything, sweeps things off their foundation. Seen it time and time again, but man, this was horrific looking flooding. 3 to 4 inches fell in the area in a short span, and it overwhelmed streams such as the Little Wheeling Creek, and others across Ohio County. They came through and ripped the side of this building off. We'll play this clip.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh shit!
Whoa, I didn't expect it to be all cuss words. Thank you, Minx, for the super chat. Well, I guess that's what happens when people are freaked out. Let's be honest about it. I mean, look at that. Just rips the back of the building off, the flood water coming off the roof. Crazy situation there, man.
How did it get through the apartment like that?
Look at it coming out the apartment, out all the windows. I mean, you would have thought that this building was like a dam.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that's bad. And they took off running. Wow. Apartment building collapses. You just seen the water rushing through it, man. That's pretty dramatic. I mean, this is what I talk about when I say that the weather is a weapon and that you can never really rest easy anymore on it. They can hit you wherever you are. Doesn't matter. You know, anyone that's out in the plains and the flats, you've long been susceptible to tornadoes and frontline wind systems that can come through and rock you. In the mountains, here in the past handful of years, here in Kentucky, we've got rocked. As you can see, West Virginia, it's not the first time neither that they've been rocked like this. Other areas in the past decade have been hit in West Virginia. I know because teams have gone there to help. Like the time when the soldier got swept away and killed, and I forget what town it was, but it was in West Virginia. It was inundated with mud and all this other stuff. We had teams go down there and help out, with rescue supplies and things like that, because this area's been hit. Now, Tennessee's been hit as well. Asheville has been hit in North Carolina. You guys know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like, you didn't hear about these areas getting hit like this. In the region I'm in, when we first got here, people were like, we had a huge, massive, bad flood. It was the worst they had ever seen around here. It looked like an ocean, caused landslides and all this other stuff. It was bad. Washed people away. We still have not recovered. But they were like, man, that's like a 1 in 1,000 year flood. Well, within just a year or two, it happened again. Almost as bad, not as bad, but almost. I'm like, well, what do you start to call these things now? A 1 in 100 year flood, or it's becoming a 2 in 10 year flood. And I really feel, man, that a lot of this is targeted because they know they're not stupid. When you've got some wicked minions that got this power to do this, and they are not stupid. They've got things like AI and all these other intelligences at their fingertips. They want people knocked out and they want areas wiped out. Well, they can just ask AI, what area in West Virginia is most susceptible to getting wiped out by floodwater? Saves you a lot of time and research right there. Just give it a couple seconds. Oh, there it is. It's going to generate the answer, and there you go. It's going to tell you the region. And then all they got to do is create the rain bomb, which is very, very, very easy for them to do over an area and unleash it. And see, rain bombs are not like regular rain that starts to drop. It's held inside of this cloud system until it breaks. And when it breaks, it's like a monsoon. I mean, a tidal wave gets dropped out of the atmosphere. When you see these things from a distance, you see what I mean. It's like someone just unleashed the floodgates, and it just like someone dumped a bucket out of a rain cloud. It dumps that hard. That's why it can shear off mountains, cause massive flooding, and do stuff just like this. Insane what the people are dealing with there. So prayers going out to everyone in West Virginia. They are the latest to get hit by the crazy weather weaponry. Pisses me off. All we can really do is educate people and hope that people can like get prepared. Lone warrior. Much love, my brother. Let's look at some cities that are sinking. Always something, huh? Well, figured I'd point it out. If you're looking to move or if you live somewhere, you hear of all these things, but I like to go with the data. We get new data. And this is what it's showing. For the graph, I'm just going to, let me just back out. Go down here to where it lists them. So, the city that is sinking the most in the United States, well, let's just put it this way. Texas is sinking. And it's sinking quicker than anywhere else. You might have heard that like this place, that place, whatever, coastal place, sinking, something like that. No, well, there is some coastline, some Gulf coastline here, but a lot of it that they're talking about in Texas, it's known for oil. And like they're sucking the oil out of the earth. And this is causing everything to naturally start to sink down. It's pretty crazy, right? Well, they're not going to stop doing this, in my opinion. They're going to keep on doing this. So, Houston, in terms of millimeters a year, sinking at the top, followed by Fort Worth, then Dallas, all in Texas, then New York. New York City. And you should know, hopefully you know that, let's go do some research, I guess, if you've never been there. New York City, the way that it sits, it's out in like this island type peninsula ordeal. You can get it from one side and you can get it from the other side, like the Brooklyn Bridge and all that in. But it's like this big island, so to speak. And it's not sitting high up off the water at all. Think of all that weight, all those buildings that are built there. Over time, it continues to just naturally sink a little bit. So I don't know how they're ever going to fix these problems. Eventually, places like New York will cease to exist. New York City will cease to exist one day just simply because it's sinking and it's right there on the coast of the ocean. So it's going to give way to waves and all that. At some point, it just will. So this is where the biggest problems are in this country. Chicago also sinking pretty good. Columbus, Ohio, coming in behind Chicago. That might be a shocker. Followed by Seattle, Detroit, Michigan, Denver, Colorado at a mile high. Like you got a lot to worry about up there. And then Charlotte, North Carolina. You can see the list there on the screen. Indianapolis, Indiana. Maybe some places people didn't expect. I was expecting to see Florida on there a whole lot, but it's not. It's only on there slightly with 0.45. The very last one is Jacksonville. Yeah, that's what's going on there. Texas. One day it could very well just be, see all the water rush in there. I mean, it does it in Houston when a hurricane comes in. Same thing with New Orleans. They're like bowls. If you are looking to go somewhere, and this kind of shocked me, a bank rate survey reveals that 46% of Americans plan to travel this summer. Not too big of a shocker. The remaining 54%, of the remaining 54%, 65% say affordability is keeping them from going too far. And they're going to be taking staycations near home. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this. First time I heard of a staycation. They say one of the top issues among choosing staycations is the cost of living, plus the higher cost of traveling, which include airfare, hotels, meals, entertainment. Others cited having too much debt, but a staycation could be a fun fallback option, if nothing else, they say, to relax and recharge. And this is like the new thing. The top 10 cities for staycationers include Orlando, Tampa, both in Florida, Honolulu, Hawaii, Las Vegas, Nevada, San Diego, California, all those spread out. But then Cincinnati, Ohio, the top place on the list. It's just kind of shocking because this is where I grew up. And I will say, I had to go through there recently, and it'd been a long time. It'd been some years, and I had to go through there in the evening. It brought back so many memories. Like the picture you can see here is that's from Kentucky side, looking at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is unique. It's got a big sign that says Cincinnati when you cross into it. It's a river city. It's got all kinds of bridges. The underground, when I open up the stream, where it says the underground, that city that's on the river, lit up, all beautiful right there, that's Cincinnati. So, and it is like very hilly up there around the water. It's unique. There's not a whole lot of places like it that I've been to. So fortunate to grow up in that area, but I mean, it's got its ups and downs like anywhere else. I mean, it's got its fair share of crime and all this other stuff, but I don't know. It's a beautiful city, especially at night, lit up. I'll say that. This is where we host a knowledge conference, but they're basically saying if you're looking to move somewhere that has a lot of outdoor places to go visit the zoo, go to the Reds game, they spent millions and millions and millions and millions and millions on the riverfront, which I haven't really spent any much time down there on. They did it since I kind of left the area, but they've built it up. So they've got a whole bunch to do up there. And who knows? If I announce I'm having another conference, it'll probably be right here in Northern Kentucky, right across the water from Cincinnati, where we have it all the time. And be your chance to come check out Cincinnati and a knowledge conference. Been feeling one of them, man. The people asking me about it. No. Stay tuned for more. May hear an announcement or something. I'm going to skip over this one and just jump straight to the oil and the old and jump into the heavier stuff here. Mike says a data collection conference. Is that how you see it? Like a scared cat? Like, ooh, we can't go hang out. We can't go to a conference. They're going to be collecting all of our data. Like, they're not collecting all your data right now. Collecting your data everywhere you go every day off your phone, tracking you like a rat. Do you care about that? Just ridiculous when I hear negative comments right at the gate. And also, if you would be negative, is take it out of here. Because, dude, next time I come around, I see any negativity. It's just banhammer coming from me. But yeah, Jay from the Ville, I want to hang out, bro. I want to see cats like you. Pixie, and other cats we haven't had a chance to meet yet, like Kenny G, and Again, lowrider, you crept in. Got a ride with lowrider, man. Had a chance to meet some of the cats in the chat strictly because I held a knowledge conference. And priceless, man. Had a chance to meet great people. That's how I know when I look in that chat, I see some names out there. I'm giving shout outs and you hear me say these things. I know because I've met them. I've got to meet these people, shake their hands, give them hugs, know their energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes all the difference. That's a gift God gave me. That way, you know, you can't fake that. Somebody comes up and they try to fake it, talk the talk and all this other stuff. But man, you walk around the room, you come in and I put eyes on you and I feel the energy. Like you can sit there and spit at whatever game you want to try to spit. Like energy don't lie. Hoodie Ross tell you that. And you can't beat meeting people in the flesh as far as I'm concerned. Tara Krantz, thank you for the coffees and the support. I appreciate it to the fullest. So, we are in a weird spot. If we've ever been close to like the big war they've always predicted, you know, with the big bad boogeyman Iran, it's like right now. You can't ignore it. It's going to affect everything. Just wait till you see what it does to gas prices. They can try to mitigate the damage a little bit, but not too much. We can't do too much because Biden offed and sold all of our reserves and depleted us. A setup, which he should go to jail for, but no, he's getting a pass, you know, because the whole thing's a setup. Anyhow, oil and gold jump as soon as these bombs start to fly. And I'm not so sure that they're going to stop. If a deal's worked out at some point and nukes don't fly, then yeah, you'll see these things start to peel back some. But as long as there's a chance for more chaos, the more these things, especially gold, is going to run. And you don't always put Bitcoin and gold in the same basket because it's just not the case. They're two separate entities, and sometimes they run together, sometimes they break. This is an instance where, you know, gold's on a tear and like nothing matches it. Nothing matches gold. Nothing. Maybe another precious metal comes close or following behind. You got platinum spiking. Copper's going to be spiking. Silver's sitting right at a spot like $36. I'm telling you, when silver breaks out, it's going to go bananas. When it breaks out, it should run up. It should clip 100 at some point and then just keep running. And like, it's going to go into discovery mode. But these things will probably happen when everybody's freaked out. Meaning, kind of like when lockdowns began. Everyone was more concerned about going and buying toilet paper than making key investments. The enemy, since they manufactured the whole thing, they knew what was going to happen. And they bought the dip. And they swooped things like Bitcoin at $4,000. 5 short years later, guess what? They've got it up over 100K. They got to attack 100K on that in 5 years. Talk about an investment. Do you see? You see the windows of opportunity here? Like, people need to take advantage of them because I don't know what other gimmies you're going to get out here, especially like with no taxes on certain stuff, like with the gold and the silver and things like that. You can't beat that. I'd be buying as many gold bars as possible, holding on to them long haul, and get the ones that are serialized, pay them sweet to come in the plastic and all that, pay the money, get them. Then you can offload them at whatever coin dealer or wherever, place sells baseball cards, Coins Plus, like any place like that. They will buy them. Melted down gold and silver, they will not buy. I repeat, for anyone out there that thinks you're going to melt down gold and silver and take it to the pawn shop or the gold shop and they're going to buy it, you're in for a hurting. You're in for a hurting. They're not going to buy it. If you're lucky, you'll find some dude that gives you his card and says, meet me in the back lot or something off camera. None of them are going to touch it for the most part because it can be stolen gold that's melted down. That's what the government will say. And, you know, they can get to extreme lengths to try to prove some things. But if you robbed a whole vault of gold, uh, you would have to have left like a gold bar behind for them to test, to even to have proof of what you stole, and all this other stuff. Um, just saying, gold is at the top of the list here. Again, Tara, thank you for those coffees. I don't see gold stopping at all. I'm, you know, oil here. They're saying that a blockade on the straits right now, you could see it run to 130 a barrel. I've seen other guys talking, saying that they think that this thing, just to flex it, 150 to 200 range, they're talking. There's no way to really mitigate that damage. Everyone will be feeling it at the pump. Summertime, when everyone's wanting to travel, a lot of these things are timed out, I'm telling you, on purpose for pure advantage, to get so they can get the most out of everything. They know people are traveling, all this other stuff. But best time then to go to war. Raise the prices of oil. And they have done some major damage already inside of Tehran to their infrastructure. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. But in the market segment right here, the market's feeling this big time. Man, oh man. Yeah, stuff's escalating rather quickly. And there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of head fakes, and Trump's playing a big part of it. He's fooled his base. He's basically lied to his base. He's buffaloed them. He's been caught buffaloing them. And he doesn't seem to care. He does not seem to care. He's just like, we do whatever we have to do to help this country. Basically, it's his response. Because he acted like he was trying to hold this these talks and stuff with Iran, and like, oh, Israel went and dropped bombs and attacked. I'm like, shame on you, Israel. I was over here trying to talk this out with them, and they played that kind of card. Well, no, that checks out. That's not the case. That's all a lie. And they have all the evidence. We're going to tear in all that. China buying up record amounts of gold. I know most people don't have the money to buy any gold. Silver is probably the thing that you're going to be able to get your hands on the most. I reckon. Just from my own memory bank. Going out to yard sales, going out to this time of year. There's all types of different stuff out there going on where people are selling stuff. And silverware is something that you could come across. More than anything, some old tarnished silverware that someone's got in a bag that's just sitting there forever, and they're probably going to let go for cheap. I'm telling you, I've seen it a ton. It never really meant a lot to me in the past, but it like stuck with me in my memory bank, and like I'm thinking back on it now, like damn, every time I seen one, I should have bought that little bag. They probably would have gave it to me for next to nothing. Like, and for real, you just never know. You never know. I would buy anything to get your hands on in terms of precious metals, and I would hold it. Even copper. You got copper. I remember when I was doing roofing years and years and years ago, because I did so many different things in my life, working. But just we were doing roofing one summer, and my boss, he was a cool dude. He was basically like, you get the job done. You guys are out of here. We'd start early. We get up there, and we have to do cleanup at the end of the day. Well, end of the day is all the stuff in the yard from off the roof that you gather up, and it goes in the trash, right? I noticed one day that, like, damn, like, what's all the shiny shit? Like, I reach in, and it's copper. It's copper flashing that we use around roofs to flash the roof and around chimneys and things like that. And it was just being, cut, and like the smaller pieces thrown off the roof, like all the rest of the trash. And at the end of the day, the whole ground was getting picked up, and everything was getting thrown away. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start saving this. So you fast forward like a month or so. I got a duffel bag full at this point, and I'm rolling out after a job one day, and my boss looks at me and he's like, oh, hold on, like, what is that? And I'm like, this is all the copper that I collected. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, you've been throwing away your copper this whole time. And instead of just throwing it in the trash, I decided I was going to pluck it out and stack it up and then get rid of it. And he just laughed. And he was like, I'm going to have to stop that. And he stopped it. But he gave me props. He was like, no, because you were right. You're like, I should have been doing that. And that's why you can no longer do it. I'm like, like, it's cool. I respected it. But I seen the value then, and it was there. And same thing. I know that there's crews out there doing the same thing today, like throwing it off, and it's just going away. It's like, I had guys that, look, I grew up in the hood, man. Just the way it is. I can't change none of that. Where I grew up, right there in Covington, across Cincinnati, like, we would have crazy nights in the summer, like where like wars would break out, and like we'd be on rooftops of buildings and all this stuff, and like the craziest stuff would happen, and like guys would end up, I don't know, going into buildings and looking for copper and starting to strip them. And I remember on several different occasions, they went in and they started stripping the copper out of these houses with the water still on. And the places, apparently they were flooding out very, very bad. And these goons just took all the copper, took off, they got a ton of it, and they took off a whole team of them. But these places were flooding out in the basements. And like, these are mostly like homes no one was in or abandoned, stuff like that. And like, somebody had to stop it. So literally we had to go out, because I remembered this in the past. I remember seeing someone go out in the street and then shut a water valve off. So we were looking around. We found a manhole. We opened it up. We found the valve. And we get in there with some tools and we start cranking and we get the water shut off. And like, we literally saved like multiple homes, like from like sinking into the ground, like and crumbling and all this other stuff. And it was all because people were going after copper. And that was back then. Copper worth way more these days. So I'm just saying, man, I've seen goons do some crazy stuff, and like I can only imagine it's still happening today. Yeah, so the more expensive it gets, the crazier stuff I expect to see. Don't forget, when tornadoes and hurricanes were coming through here recently this last year, remember what I was reporting on? People were systematically going and taking down power lines, like knocking the power out, or if the power was getting knocked out by a tornado, they would come in and they would come on the back end and they would like knock the power out on the back end. And like for 5 miles, these guys would go knowing the line was dead, and they would start stealing the copper line. That's where we're at. They're plotting like that. Like that. And they're getting big money for that stuff. Thank you, Beach Girl. Thank you, Lowrider, for the coffees. Thank you guys so much for the support. And much love. They go after catalytic converters now. Well, yeah, they've been doing that for years too. I'm just saying, like, these days, a lot of the stuff we're going to need from here on out is going to need precious metals in them. So you're more than likely going to find it. And people do. You find it in computers. You find it in phones, tablets. They all have components of gold and silver, platinum, and things like that in them. But, they're not going to stop buying this stuff. China buying this at breakneck speed. I say it almost every stream. Get sick of saying it almost. But it's happening. We have to keep an eye on it. There's a reason why they're doing this. There's going to be a global financial reset. And when it happens, gold is king. And we all know it. Whoever holds the most gold basically is king. It doesn't matter what paper you got. It doesn't matter at that point. It's whoever's got the most gold backing it. Right? Because if somebody comes up and they're like, we've got 5 million bars of gold backing our currency, and like this currency over here has 1 bar of gold backing it. Like, which one's stronger? The one with 5 million bars of gold backing it. Obviously. That's where we're at. Do you see now? Do you see when they pull the rug on this whole paper Ponzi scheme finally? Gold will that's when gold's going to go bananas. I think it's going to be during a crisis, obviously, and the crisis always fuels gold and silver. Like I said last time, people need to buy these dips, be prepared for them. We're coming up on what I call the economic 9/11. It's going to happen on Trump's watch, and I don't see how we're going to escape it. That's why I've prepared everything that I've done to keep ready for everything to break down. Look at this one. I'm gonna keep it pushing here as I go, man. Some of these things are a double-edged sword. Okay, homelessness. California City makes homeless people eligible. Listen to this, because if this expands or gets out of control, we're all doomed. A person is eligible for arrest if they refuse 3 offers for shelter. Not go on and on and on and on about so many different scenarios where this is not good, especially in different climates like lockdowns or another outbreak. But what if they lie? What if they confuse you and this and that? And 3 strikes out. Like, what? You're going to go put them in a jail then? You're going to house them? Well, some of them may take that. At least they're going to get meals. They're going to have a roof over their head. That's more than what they're getting out on the street with nothing, right? So, it's like, come on. Like, they don't even... They've floundered this whole thing, especially when it comes to our vets. But it's not just vets. It's everyday people now across the country. It's not druggies. It's everyday people that are losing jobs, that are living out of their cars and their vehicles. It's happening more and more. So, I don't know. I just feel like this is set up. You go in and say, oh, we offered them 3 times, and then you arrest them and you take them in. Then my question is, like, where are they taking them afterwards? Like, I want to know all these things. I don't want these homeless people just disappeared into the night and then like, oh, yeah, well, take them out in the ocean at night and just throw them overboard. I mean, I feel like they're just they're evil. No one really cares. I said it before. If I was a billionaire, if I was one of these cats, or if there's a righteous one, you would go through and you'd be cleaning this up all over the place. I'd go city to city, finding everyone that needed it and helping them. But there would be rules to the game too. Like, people got to help participate. You got to get behind this. You got to be part of this movement against the beast and the establishment. You got to be proactive and all this other stuff. And like, if you've got tools, you've got to share them. Like, if you've got military skills and you were trained to kill and to defend this country, well, then you need to share them with the youth that's not getting that, because they're not signing up to join this military, but they need the skills, you see, to fight against this beast, you see. No one's doing nothing. We have no major militant, patriotic leader, no militia. You have nothing. If not a shot at nothing at this point. No one's coming to help save the vets or do nothing. Like, half these goons just jumped on the Trump bandwagon because it was the easy way out. And a lot of them film the hurt on that now, because everything comes out in the wash. Everyone thought they were going to jump on this Trump train, and it was going to be rock star status, winning, for the rest of their days or something. And like, no, that's falling apart quick. And it has been. Wow. I'm getting breaking reports of air raid sirens over Haifa. The pins over Israel are insane. IDF confirms, this is off of RT, confirms reports of attacks in northern Israel, a barrage of missiles coming down. And the pins, you can't even count them all across the place. And I will say, Iran did come out and say, we're not a single thing that we shot is a ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. They're saying that everything that they're firing is hypersonic, and that you ain't even seen the worst yet. I ain't even got to that part. All right, I'm trying to get to it. All right, Trump orders ICE to expand illegal immigration deportation efforts. So they're trying to expand on this, which just means that any of the blue cities or the sanctuary cities or sanctuary states, any area labeled sanctuary, anything, expect to see ICE rolling up into your neck of the woods, big time. So ICE raids an Omaha food plant. It results in dozens of arrests. But guess what? Guess what the other side of the coin is? It opens up jobs for us legal people. You see how that works? Yeah. So they go into Omaha in this food plant, and dozens of people are arrested, and all of a sudden, well, they need workers, so they need to start hiring, and like they actually should be in trouble for hiring these illegals. Act like they don't know or something. But this opens the door for new applicants for legal people. You see what I'm saying? So that is the plus side of it. Couldn't get a job in town. Were no openings at the big food plant. Now there is dozens. So American workers, this is the very next one. This is just isn't in that area. It's apparently across the board. It's saying that American workers are rushing in to fill jobs that were being filled by illegal aliens. And this is in Nebraska. So, yeah, man. Like, I mean, it's only a plus. Our people have more job opportunity. Get the illegals out of here. Yeah. All right. Trump sold out everything, but he sells shoes, golden shoes. He sells, all these different things. The red caps that say MAGA. Well, he's launching a phone service, a phone and a service called America First. The smartphone expected to be priced at $4.99. The service will be offered through a $47.45 per month plan that includes unlimited talks, text, and data, as well as roadside assistance and telehealth and pharmacy benefits. So here you go, MAGA. You see, Obama came out and they just gave out the free Obama phones. They gave them to everybody, so everyone had that tracking device on them. Here, Trump's gonna make people pay for it, but they're still gonna do it. They're gonna cough up $500. It's gonna be cheaper than an iPhone, right? It's probably gonna look like one. It's gonna be like a ripoff of it, and all this other stuff. And it's gonna have to look something. It's gonna have some kind of pizzazz, something for people to want it. But I don't know. It could be a turd and just say Trump on it, and some people will buy it just because it says Trump on it. The whole Trump thing, it's insane, man. FCC has a complaint filed all over this No Kings revolution that went down because apparently CBS was being like the bullhorn, the mouthpiece for this. They were telling everyone in every city to get out and to participate. All the brainwashed people. It was crazy. It's like they seen results. Now, what I mean by this is they're saying that CBS and the demographics of the people watching, the older people, boomers, silverheads, as they're calling them, they were targeted en masse. Now, we know that Soros pays the other ones, the protesters that come out, the young guys. Like, they're paying them. So that's one group, all right, that's getting paid. The other group, the other half that they mobilized and got off their tail, they did through CBS and through the mainstream news. The people that are sitting in a living room watching TV all day, all right? They got them off their tail. They did. And you're about to see it. And that's the main theme. This whole weekend, outside of the shooting events that took place, what was seen mostly were older, boomer-aged people, what they're calling silverheads, that came out. Even in New York City, some people were pissed off and disappointed. They're like, dude, I came down here to come down to this rally thinking it was going to have some action. It's just a bunch of old people. That's how they put it. Now we're coming to find out that this has been the tactic. This was the tactic. You wonder why so many older people were coming out to this event and waving little flags and coming out of the retirement homes and all going out? It's because their TVs told them to. Dude, it's sick. It's sick to see this stuff. I seen a clip where like 30, 40 people were coming out of this like retirement or this facility, all with their waving their flags. It's like, because your TV told you to. Like, you guys are just sitting in there watching this brainwashing. And you know it. And they all come walking out the door. We're going to protest, protest. Like, they don't even really know what they're getting into. They're just getting out, but they're like being led by the nose is what kills me. It pisses me off. They're being used. They were used en masse. They all thought they were going out to do something righteous, right? I'm sure they did, or they wouldn't have done it, right? But the TV did it, the news, CBS, and in these dark money. So, look, Soros is behind this. Guess who else has been caught? If you missed it, the Walton family. And thank you, someone, for the coffees. The Walton family owns Walmart and Sam's Club. They took out the ads and paid for it. Now we got taxpayer Sherla involved. Then we've got, what else we got here? Thought I had, oh, here it is. Here it is. Shanghai billionaire connected to the Chinese communist and husband of the Code Pink movement here are funding the anti-ICE riots as well. So Jody Evans, 68, another multi-millionaire, billionaires, whatever they are here, funding this chaos. So I like to put these faces out there and show people like these are the people responsible. They're in their mansions, sitting cush tonight, laughing and giggling, whatever, and they're causing chaos across the country. Just like George Soros. Like, you don't never hear of these people getting a visit from the feds or anything like that. Although Cash Patel said he was going to look into it, but he'll look into it about like he did Epstein. Yes, I know the missiles are flying. Yeah, and I'm getting to that in just a second. I'm just seeing some updates come in here off the other feed. Working my way into that. We're almost there. But I want to finish up on this No King stuff because we had some stuff come out of this. We had shots fired in Utah at the protest there. 2 people wounded, 3 people in custody. And there was demonstrations all over the place. I went through the list, but play some of these clips. The chaos.
Oh my God. That's a gun. That's a gun. Come on. Come on. Get out.
I think those are gunshots. Is that someone? Shut the fuck up.
Zoom in, babe. Zoom in.
Sorry about the F-bomb, but this is what happens in everyday life. When especially shots fired in panic situations. So, No King's Terror. We had a fake cop assassinate a Minnesota Democrat who blocked health care for illegals. This Vance Luther Bolter, 57, a former appointee of Democrat Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, is the suspected gunman who is now in custody. This was a politically motivated shooting that killed one Minnesota state representative and wounded a state senator. This man, right, these people shot right here, this woman dead, and it pisses me off. I've never heard of her before, but she didn't deserve this. Melissa Hortman. To be, again, a knock at the door, step outside, think she's talking to a cop, and the dude shoot her dead. Like, pisses me off. I mean, that's assassination. That's assassin. It's scary. When you've got people coming to your door dressed as law enforcement. Anyone trying to dress as law enforcement, that gets to be the scariest right there. Like, everyone better be rolling strapped and be very on point about your surroundings and what's what. If she simply wouldn't have answered the door, she'd be alive. Things to think about these days. Especially if the vehicle pulling up doesn't look like a normal cop car and all that. That's going to be some of the first red flags right there that you need to be looking in a driveway and looking for. If it's like a plain vehicle, even looks like, I mean, if it's not like your classic cop car with the lights and all this stuff, like from a station and all that, like you better be thinking twice, especially with what's going on. So it gets crazier, unfortunately. They say they're not going to release the manifesto. Anytime we ever deal with a manifesto, it always checks out to be some kind of, there's staged aspects to it in the past. It's just the way that it's always been. Anytime they even bring up the word, it's like, oh, there's like the giveaway that they had a hand in it. Because other everyday people that go out and like do things sporadically or randomly or anything like that, they don't leave manifesto. It's like a repeated thing. Like every single person that they bring in, there's a manifesto attached to. And it's just not the way that it happens in real life all the time. People snap out and do things, and there's not always a drawn up manifesto sitting in the freaking driver's seat. How convenient every time. Like, get out of here, man. Like, it's the MO of the feds. Okay, so this is crazy. He has a kill list. And on this kill list, there's a ton of people. And there's stuff that's blacked out here, so they're not doxed and all this. But, man, when it comes to the house, people in the house inside of Minnesota, Robert Bierman, Rick Hansen, Leon Little, Samantha Vang, Matt Norris, Peter Fisher, Kelly Mahler. There's some of the people here. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it's going to be some more popular and most of them you've never even heard of. But these are people on the left here that were on the hit list to be targeted. What I find crazy is like, it's like, okay, you're not going to release a manifesto. Like, why? Like, what was in it? This? Was it like this gets leaked? Like, and put out there? Like, the hit list is what a copycat would pick up and run with to finish the tasks. And if they turn this dude into like a Luigi dude, idolizing, like Luigi, they idolized him for assassinating the United Healthcare guy. They did. They sure did. And have been for whatever sick, crazy reasons. This is what they're doing. Will they do the same here with this guy? I don't know. But to dress up as a cop and go to somebody's door, you would think, okay, it's a one-off event. Yeah, you better think again. Look at what we have here. A whole nother incident. Armed man impersonating law enforcement arrested during the Pennsylvania No Kings protest. So the guy's running around acting like he's a cop, armed and everything else. And this is the crazy thing. And I swear to you, in my experience, throughout the years, anytime what I'm about to tell you happens, the person is an informant or working for the feds. Every time. What does it say? The man's identity has not been publicly released at this time. Every time. Every time that it's ever came out in the wash afterwards, dude, they've been working with the man. See, a lot of these situations, the feds kick up. They have a patsy that's out there ready for an event, and they do the takedown to take the credit for it. And this is the truth. Judge Napolitano came on Fox News like a decade ago and said this to all the sheep out there, like, wake up, people, you idiots. Like, they're doing all this. They're setting it up. And he said that on, it was like Fox News at the time, to the millions out there. Like, this is what they're doing. I don't know, man. Everything crazy these days. I mean, you can't, again, a fake cop running around, man, things getting scary. Again, somebody comes knock at the door. It don't look right. I wouldn't be answering it. And I would just want to show you a clip here real quick of what I was saying. This is what they were saying. These are the type of people, all the type of people that were coming out, older people that were showing up at this event. And they had a little booth set up where you pay 5 cents and you get to take this Trump doll and smash this Trump doll's head into the seat as hard as you can to take out that anger.
We were just talking about this morning. No! Dog! Bad boy! Bad! No!
He says he feels great. So, yeah, that's what they're doing out there. Thank you, someone, for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. And the comment. So I just want to show you, this is the stuff that they were doing out here. All right, going to keep it pushing here. On the financial tip, Trump officially begins to phase out FEMA. He says we're going to start giving out less. Now, listen, guys, I don't know how much of this is good at all. What I've noticed is that with them coming in and Doge trying to clean house and save all this money, you know what they've done? They've taken money from things like Medicaid, Medicare, things that you are going to need. Okay? Stuff like that. Where things are going up and people don't even realize it. So they're saying you're going to phase out FEMA. They're not replacing anything with anything. Okay? Well, let me say this. I don't like FEMA. We talk a lot of crap about FEMA because of all the dark crap that they've done. But I will say this much. There's only one government agency that comes down through these hollers, that comes down through here after these floods, after devastation. There's only one that comes down here that helps anyone. It may take forever and very few get paid out and all this other stuff, but there's only one that comes and even does that. Do you understand this? And that is FEMA. No one else comes to the freaking rescue. Let me tell you, it's a sickening feeling. When you're wiped out and you put up even donation links and like barely get any help and things like that. It's a sickening feeling. Pisses me off so bad. Where's this going? If you're going to phase out FEMA, then like we're going to start giving out less, is Trump's exact words. I'm telling you, it is we the people that are going to be hurt and are hurting already in all of this. These people have been buffaloed, lied to, hit with black magic, and they're about to get rocked as soon as this big event goes down. Like all these other big distractions got everybody caught off guard here. You just wait. We're going to get hit. The stage is set for it any moment. Maybe we get hit right now, tomorrow. And they're like, oh, it was Iran, it was China, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be the same boogeyman they're going to point the finger at. All right, we already knew this. But we're going to have to deal with the repercussions. It's not going to be pretty. And I just can't. I mean, the next Asheville that happens, the next hurricane, anything, the next anyone that gets hit that needs FEMA assistance or help from this government, where's it going to come from? It's not going to come from nowhere. It's going to try to tell you. This is crazy. And people are just sitting there with like a deer in headlights. It's like, do you not stop and see this? Anybody? Like, it's just crazy. It's just nuts, man. Amish are pretty amazing. Good people. You can learn a lot from the Amish. I'm just warning you. When the money dries up from hearing all this stuff, like there's points the other side, so to speak, have, or proponents of Trump when they're calling him out on some of these certain things. And then he needs called out. There's not enough of it. There's not enough Trumpers out there doing it. I try to keep it as honest as it gets around here. If they want to do something positive, I'll give them props. If they want to do something bad, I've got to call them out. That brings me to the 2025 Bilderberg meeting. That's right. The 71st meeting kicked off in Sweden on Thursday. The global elites convening behind closed doors. You know, with the backdrop of World War popping off. And this is saying basically that they covered a handful of topics that got leaked out. It's fucking. And I'll name some of the people here that they say was there. If I could see, Peter Thiel was there. Jack Clark, Alex Karp, Eric Schmidt, Samuel Paparo, Lawrence Summers, Christopher Donahue, Jason Smith. Just some of the names I'm seeing here, picking out. You might recognize that there, and a bunch of other global people from other countries you're just not going to even know, from all these other countries that are all part of the cabal or the global establishment, if you will, the beast. It's the beast. These are the leaders. They gather at the World Economic Forum. They gather at Bilderberg, and yeah, you know, guys have surrounded these events and tried to get as much information as possible here in America. In the past, they'll come to like Virginia, and they're known to go to a certain hotel and area all the time down there, and they kick everybody out ahead of time, and they do a sweep on the whole place, and then they all come in, but. You're talking about knowing where a bunch of the world's criminals are gathering in one place. It's almost priceless. We live in a day and age where they're still doing this openly. Like, there's going to come a time in the future, I'm telling you, when things break down, they won't dare do this. They won't dare anymore let anyone know where they're gathering, because it gets struck. So I guess it's Tucker's turn to step up this week and like rub Trumpy the wrong way, just because he's speaking a little bit of what Trump don't like. But I'm just gonna play this clip to see, you can see that, you know, and you know, Tucker, we all know, is groomed and this and that, but at this point, one thing I do like about Tucker is that a majority of what he speaks it's not off a teleprompter or nothing like that. He's speaking out of his mind, computing out of his mind and all this stuff. Off the cuff, things he has maybe preloaded, already read, or in this and that, but it's not like off of a script directly. Majority of the time when he's speaking on things and subjects. It's like the same thing here with Bannon. It's like a real deal. Trump, on the other hand, outside of like the news catching him like going to the chopper and asking him some questions, which is probably all still scripted and staged, obviously. Like all that stuff is like, man, like just scripted with Trump, like so much. I don't know. Tucker, like Elon, is more you're more prone to get the truth and a slip up out of them, basically. A better angle, more information, things like that. And I don't know. I just know that now that the Elon scuffle is over, it just seems odd that, like, right on cue, here comes Tucker. But here, I'll play this clip.
I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
you get. Look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush personally. I still see Bush sometimes, and of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq, and that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically, right, to improve the country.
Right.
And you may agree or disagree, but like in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no. He was going to redo Social Security.
100%,
He had all this, all types of. He was going to take care of the entitlements issue.
And he really thought it was going to work.
Yep.
And you could laugh at that or whatever, but the point is, the second you get enmeshed in a real war, not a fake, let's go bomb the villagers and declare success, though we don't even have a good track record. Like, why are the Houthis still there?
No,
I mean, there's a whole other question,
right,
which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real
conflict, is what he says right here, and then that's the end of it. How prepared are we? I don't know. It's yet to be seen. Again, a huge event's about to happen, guys. It's like, what do you do? Like, get in. Like, if you knew without a doubt that, like, the next 9/11, the next big event, you could even be lockdowns. Like, the next big something is about to happen. Like, it's now. You're not going to get out of the summer without it happening. What do you do? With life changes forever after this, in many ways. Like, what do you do? Do you go out and do something that, like, one of them things that you're never going to get to do again, then maybe for the rest of your life? Like, what do you do? Like, prepare? Like, well, no, to me, it's like, I've been preparing every day, all the time, for years, for this event, for this big breakdown. But what do you do? Like, you spend time with loved ones, friends and family, or do you going to have them with you? Go see friends or something that you may never see again? Go somewhere that you may never be able to go again? Just saying. For real. If they pull this economic stuff, it's one thing. But if they back it with a release, almost just the same as last time, is my fear here. They do an economic thing. They do all this stuff. Trump plays all of his cards. And then you get down to the end of his tenure, and it's like, it's done, right? Right? Well, like, no, you thought he was out of here last time. And it was right at the very end of Trump's tenure where they dropped lockdowns. Remember? It's where he caught the name Mr. Warp Speed on his watch. And they could repeat that. It's my fear. That's... I don't know. I don't know if we can handle that. I think the whole economic reset thing is to usher in. We already know what it is, man. We've seen this from 100 miles away. We already know what they're trying to do and what the end game result is, what they want to do, and getting everybody on a trackable, traceable system. We know this. We also know, by just thinking about it, that the easiest way to get everybody on that system is to hold the banking system hostage, meaning that you can't get your money out for whatever reason, whether it's been cyber attacked or it's a glitch. They've done all that and above. They've done everything you could think of under the sun here recently. Little beta tests all over the place. When the big one hits and you can't get money out of the bank, people panic. The government's going to come to the rescue. Again, it's going to be with a digital wallet. I told you, these stable coins, the Genius Act, why do you think they call it the Genius Act so brazenly? Again, is anyone paying attention? Because this is the move they're about to make. They're pegging the dollar to these stable coins, and this is going to be the move. Those stable coins is going to be what you are spending. Do you understand? It's going to be the digital currency. They're going to say, hey, we're going to give you the equivalent of what's in your bank account in USDT. It's that simple. And every store is going to be able to accept it by executive order. Just that simple. It would be no different. It would be the easiest, quickest transition. There's no way in the world that I could sit here and I'm telling you all this, and that these evil goons will not do that. You think that they're going to leave that on the table? You think that they're going to leave your 401ks on the table and not take it? When we can sit here and clearly see a way to steal it? It's not even stealing it. All they got to do is dump. And that's the big thing. It's not a conspiracy. Everyone that's got a 401k, it's tied to the stock market. And the big dogs own all those shares. You see? And they don't ever sell. They just continue to hold and hold and hold and hold. But you think that they were going to hold their whole life? Why'd you do it then if you were never going to sell? Makes no sense. Oh, they're going to sell. And they're going to take the whole thing. And you see, they're taking your whole 401k when your 401k is tied to it heavily. If you're heavy in Tesla, you're heavy in all these major stocks. When they dump them, it's going to take it to nothing. And then that means when you're the guy controlling your stocks, whoever you're paying your business to control your stuff, when they go in to make a move to sell your stock or something, like panic sell at the end, it's not even going to be worth nothing anyway. You can be like, hold on, dude, I had $250,000 sitting in that retirement account. Like, you're telling me it's like less than $500? Like, that's what's about to happen. When the big dogs sell, it's done. It's over. And they will do it at the same time in mass. It will be such the panic of panics. You can think they never sell. Rarely do they sell. If they do sell, it makes the hugest headlines. Just like Buffett made headlines every single time he was getting out of Bank of America. Why did he exit all of his bank shares? Again, why? I'm telling you, when the world's richest man exits certain stuff, you have to have the brain power to see he just left all banks. And he did. En masse. Which tells me that they're going down and he knows it. And we know that they're going down. That's not a big mystery. We know that the banks are about to be replaced. And Jamie Dimon is pissed off about this, but even he said it. And even he sold 33 million shares of his stuff. Like, all the signs are definitely there. If you look back, from 2030 back in time, like at this moment, they were there glaringly that something huge was about to happen. How well people get through this is one thing. Listen, you've got to set yourself up. If you're in the markets, if you got stocks, if you got any of this stuff, if you're going to be in that, like, you need to set yourself up to where you can short. Okay? Look, if the bad guys are going to do it, you got to give yourself a chance to fight back, because that's all they're going to be doing. Like, when this whole thing comes down, they're going to be on the other end, shorting the crap out of it from the top the whole way down, and they're going to be double rich. They sold all their stuff, but then over here on the right, they've also got a bet shorting it. Can you believe that? And they're shorting it, making a killing the whole way down. It's double the profit for them. Like, once you understand how the game works, this will be the greatest transfer of wealth in history. Single, flat out. sitting on the table. And you don't think that they won't take it. If I've sat here and figured this out and told you about it, you'd be, come on. I've warned you so many times, man. One of these days, it's going to ring true. It's not going to be a pretty day. I don't know where things are going to go from there when all this happens. You know, I don't know, again, if this market thing is going to be tied into bigger attacks, or if I'm even going to be able to get on the internet, go live, do these shows. I don't know how far they're going to take it. It seems to me that as of right now, a cyber attack is the biggest, closest, number one thing that we face right now. You better hope so anyway, because like right behind it is the release of bird flu, which is a freaking nightmare. And I honestly don't know if I'll survive that event, or what's worth living. The visions that I've seen that God showed me, yeah, I won't be allowed to be inside the normal world, because you'll see. You should already know. If you don't have the mark, they'll take you down. You'll be shot. You know, all these other things. You'll be arrested, whatever, especially if a deadly one's released. I don't take my eye off of it. We're in a crazy time. I mean, we're down to the final boogeyman when it comes to the world stage. We're down to Israel and Iran. Man, they're like duking it out, missiles flying. Stephen House, much love, brother. Got to meet up. Got to. Say it all the time. Yes, thank you for the comment, my brother, man. And everything. Everything. All the love. Cannons in the house, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Went to Area 51 with Cannons Reloaded. That's right. And my book is legendary. Much love, Steve, Jacob, Matthew. Good to see everybody. All right. Let me take a deep breath. I'm sorry, I can't silence that little bling that you hear. It's an alert that I can't get to go quiet. It'll pop up every now and then, but it's nothing major. Gary, much love, my brother. Holler back at your boy. I'm gonna start off tearing into this stuff. We're on the doorstep of World War III, but there's so much lies and twisted stuff going down here. We're gonna dive into it. First, this goon BB. He's been around like my whole life doing this crap. I think he even says in a clip, 40 years. Like, that's how long he's been doing this. The first Bible quote that I ever got, he was mentioned in it. And I was like, well, presidents get elected and all this other stuff. Like, surely he won't be around, after 7 years. But here, as he says, he's been in this 40 years. I feel like he gives these veiled threats. He always does to America. He doesn't care. We already know the Mossad that was caught there documenting the events that took place on Blind 11. And all this other stuff. Like, dude, man, it's been the same goons doing all this stuff. Who do you think had Epstein blackmailed and all that? The Mossad and all that. Who do you think the Mossad is? The man right here on the right, BB, controls it. That's his gang. That's his clique. That's the sickest, nastiest, dirtiest group there is on the planet. Do you understand? The most cutthroat. They will go through the greatest lengths to do whatever to achieve their goal. And it's the truth. Why do you think that they're mentioned at the end of every rabbit hole? Okay, so
about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President?
This is what they're pushing on the people watching cable TV, Fox News, and all this stuff out there. Looks like Brett Bears had a couple facelifts there, huh? They are pushing the ideology to the masses out there tonight that Iran has attempted to try to assassinate Trump twice. So I want you to remember this. All the older age people out there soaking this up. Out there again, there's a whole wave of them. This is what they're trying to brainwash them with. To justify what? That means they're about to do something huge. They're like planting the seed. That's how I take this. I'm not dumb. I've watched them do this stuff for years and years and years. Them trying to plant the seed into the masses. I'm like, why? Why? Why would you even do that? Well, there's only one answer. They're about to do something huge. And they're trying to justify the enormity, the reason they did it. Now, they're trying to gain some favor. They're trying to get to all the Trump's base and be like, look, your beloved Gentile Messiah, they were going to assassinate him twice. And we know it, and this is what they're feeding them. That way, they support these strikes on Iran. That's what this is about. That's how
President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one. He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others took to try to bargain with him in a way that is weak, giving them basically a pathway to enrich uranium, which means a pathway to the bomb, padding it with billions and billions of dollars. He took up this fake agreement and basically tore it up. He killed Qasem Soleimani. He made it very clear, including now, you cannot have a nuclear weapon, which means you cannot enrich. He's been very forceful. So for them, he's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Look, they also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great threat to Iran's plans to weaponize nuclear weapons and use them.
When did you tell President Trump you were going to launch these strikes?
Look, I've been in constant contact with President Trump. We've known each other for many years. And obviously, we informed our American friends and President Trump, our great friend, ahead of time. We did. He knew about it, of course.
You hear that? All you people that got sold out and that were arguing with other people and said, oh, Trump didn't know. And you bought it like a soap opera. Or something. Yep. It's time to put this stuff to bed, man. Be done with it. Because they're playing you. They're jerking your chain. And they're making people look foolish now. Because people that believed in Trump and put faith in Trump and actually bought the notion, the headlines that places were kicking out, that Trump didn't know anything, and they were voicing their opinions, backing that. Now they feel stupid because now all the evidence, as BB just said, as he just said from the devil's mouth, Trump knew everything. So sometimes you just gotta say, okay. You got me this time, but never again. It should piss you off. It should piss you off when you wake up and you get out of this game and you stop believing in him. You know, these people are masters of illusion. They're like witches and warlocks. I'm telling you, wizards and warlocks. That's what all this is. That's all this is. I call on the Holy Spirit to give me the power to defeat them, to overcome them in the name of Jesus Yeshua, the Most High in heaven. Against these jinn, against these evil spirits, they cast circles and they call upon the jinn. And with, I've told you before, with the AI is like with these bots, Tesla, Optimus, and AI, it's like basically creating a Frankenstein monster to let the AI speak through, attach their consciousness to. That's the intelligence. Where do you think it's coming from? It's scary. This is why it gets out of control. This is why it's unpredictable. This is why I can plot and plan and and threaten the engineers and do things that it was never even trained to do. It should never even have it in its arsenal and capacity to do it, because you never even trained it on it. You never even gave it any of that to even do, but it somehow figured it out, how to blackmail you and how to hide its code in an email and send it. Get out of here. Like, there's something super. This is why they delayed it for 6 months. If you look back last year, Elon Musk and all of them came out and they said it. They're like, you've got to push back the rollout of AI by 6 months, and they did. It went by quick, like a blip, but they tried to buffer it. But it's here and it's being rolled out. Anyhow, I just wanted to point this all out. BB's a piece of crap. And the Most High will come and judge this one and all the ones around him for the slaughter of all the innocent souls. And they know what's coming. We're on the verge of a massive deception. It's crazy. I expect any day they could announce that they're going to start building this temple. They're like right there. They've been at it up there. What's this next one say? Hader Asen, he's an analyst. He says how Trump and Bibi played the world. Well, I just told you. I'm not even going to tear into it, but I'm just going to let you know it's done. If people want to act like this didn't happen now, you want to turn a cheek to it, and like you do to everything else, that's on you. But like, he lied to everybody. They've been busted. Everyone with a brain can clearly see it, and they're acknowledging it, and they're talking about it. Okay? So, people need to get with it. The cool thing isn't to be on the Trump bandwagon. It never has been to be on MAGA. It's cool things to show that you're actually awake and you're hip to the left-right paradigm and the establishment and what's going on, and that you're no longer falling for it. That's where it's at. Salutes to all the purebloods out there as well. Much love. Yeah, Third Temple is the end goal. And we're right there. The blocks are there. Like, the supplies are sitting there. I don't know if most people know this. Like, the supplies have been bought, paid for. They are sitting there. They just got to clear the spot. You know what that means, right? You just drop a bomb on something. You just got to clear the spot. Just got to clear the spot up on the Temple Mount. That's it. Will Al-Aqsa Mosque fall and go down in the process, or will they throw it up right next to it? I don't know, but we're in a crazy time right now. Who's to say at this point with bombs raining down? Who is to say with bombs randomly raining down right now all over the place? Just go look at the footage right now. Inside of Israel, inside of Iran, there's bombs raining down random all over the place. Hypersonics coming down, blasting places. It's crazy. Who's to say Al-Aqsa Mosque doesn't get leveled and wiped off the map in one of these exchanges? In the midst of all this, who would benefit from that? Then it's done. Then it's gone. Then they'd say, oh, it's done. It's gone. They just bulldoze it over and they claim the territory. It's what they've been waiting to do the whole time. If there's ever been a time there was a chance for it to happen, we're living in it right now. Pretty crazy. Someone, thank you for the coffees. Listen to this. I told you how sneaky the Mossad are, right? You remember back this past year when pagers are blowing up on people? Remember that? Other electronics, screens, and other radios were all blowing up. They were blowing up. And we're like, how in the heck did this happen? Well, in the end, we come to find out that Israel had intercepted almost every single one of them items and had planted explosives within them. And it was a massive operation, which they actually ended up taking credit for in the end. And it's known. And that's why there's this big thing about the pagers, Golden Pager, Trump, and all this stuff, and in blowing them up, because they did it. They actually did it. They're blowing dudes off mopeds, rolling down the street. You know, like they don't care. These dudes are nuts. Like, so this is what they just did. You ready for the latest? You want to know how they hit Iran as hard as they did how they hit them as hard as they did inside, well, let's go over it. And thank you, Rhonda, for gifting the membership. Much love. God bless. Israel built a secret drone army inside of Iran. So what they did is they snuck in, they got in there, and like inside of a warehouse or something, they were doing this like within the country. That way they didn't have to fly too far. They didn't have to go too far. And they got away with it. So they slipped in, snuck in, got all this stuff set up, and then they launched them out from there, and then it was done. Like, they achieved their goal. They were able to hit key infrastructure. And I'm talking like they've taken some hits. We're going to look at some things. But look here. Trump rejects Netanyahu's request to join the war. But what's it say on the back end? Israel needs our bunker buster bombs to take out the stuff that's underground. Tonight, right before I went live, this is the newest stuff. Let me go over here, pull it up. Somebody tagged me with this thing, and I started to play it. It says alert, and it looks like it's from Fox News. It looks like this is what they're brainwashing the people with tonight. Damn, there's actually several clips over here. Here it is. Let me get it moved over to the big screen so you guys can see it. Back it up.
There's exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown Iranian nuclear site. Now, the facility spans nearly 2,500 acres.
Just hold on a second right there. Let me slow it down just a little bit. Previously unknown, all of a sudden, brainwashed, messed with. This is like the 2,500 acre nuclear facility hidden in Iran that was never known about. This is stuff I just can't swallow. But they're dropping the seed to the masses. You should obviously see that, right? That's what they're doing. They're doing it hard, so that's kind of scary. Quantum, thank you. Much love and respect to the fullest. This is just propaganda, right? But again, I show this so you can see what. Like, I don't have cable. Maybe you don't see what's going on here. Like, but this is what they're brainwashing the people around us with. And to me, they're going into overdrive to get them ready for a huge event.
And this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the layout of the secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran. This, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility in what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear sites. It's codenamed the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres. It's been operating as far as we can discern.
Okay, so that was the clip. You see what they're pushing. This ain't good. We know this ain't good. Anytime that you knew that Israel and Iran were going to start exchanging hypersonic missiles, I'm just waiting to see who throws the first nuke, to be honest. So, look at the sky. This is Haifa in Israel. These are the hypersonics coming in. Are you kidding me? Let me back it up. Like, these are not just missiles coming in. These are hypersonics coming in. I don't know exactly the Mach on these guys, 4, 5, 6, 7, but they've got some crazy weapons, man. You have no time to run. If you're in a place where this thing's targeting, it's over. It's over. I mean, you just see what was he gonna do? He took like 2 or 3 steps and he's like, and like boom. Like if it was coming down right at you, you're done. You're done. You are done. This is a crazy atmosphere. It's a war atmosphere. Watch this. Yes. Dude, look at the shockwave off that thing. Are you kidding me? This is like Star Wars type crap. And when you're seeing this crazy stuff in the atmosphere, it's exactly what's happening. These things are getting exploded in subspace. That's why you're seeing these crazy looking things in space that remind you of a SpaceX rocket launch or something. It's because the vacuum of space, these things respond differently, and they are shooting the hypersonics. That's how they become hypersonic. They're shooting them up into subspace where they're coming down with a tremendous amount of G-force and speed. And that's why they look like they're little lights just sitting in the sky. They look like the little lights sitting in the sky. And then all of a sudden, it looks like they're jumping out of that position. But that's not the case. These things are actually coming straight down at you from way far up in subspace. And when you see them start to bend, that's just because they're moving. They're just zoning in on the... They're making their final move. My gosh. The shockwave coming off of these bombs are nuts. They're nuts, man. Trump hints at a possible U.S. entry into the war. Oh, really? The last headline said that he wasn't. He did. And this is just them maybe telegraphing. He vetoed a plan to assassinate the Ayatollah Khomeini. Doesn't mean that they still won't try and do all this other stuff. But what they're trying to do is put the vision out there that Trump's trying to be a good guy and a peacemaker, and that no, he's not supporting going in and sniping, taking out Ayatollah Khomeini. Last night there was false reports running around. People were sharing that potentially he had been taken out, but apparently, it was false. But it could happen. It could happen. And when it happens, you'll know. They'll claim it immediately. They'll let everybody know that they did it. They want regime change. They want it. It's what they're calling for. When they say they want regime change, that's what they're calling for. They want the Ayatollah Khomeini dead. They want him gone. Here on this world stage. Some world leaders, they've had on their hit list for a long time that if they don't conform, if you don't bow down to what they want, they will assassinate you, just like they did Gaddafi. R.I.P. Gaddafi. In my life, he was the general of generals. There was no other world leader that I ever seen that lived and breathed in the same time as I did here in this place, in this realm. There was no other world leader that fought against this beast and had, I don't know, the closest chance of doing anything against it. It was Gaddafi, and they killed him in the streets. He did so much for his people, and he was going to make a currency for all of Africa, which they obviously did not want. They want Africa to be poor and in shambles and controlled. And that's why you get the Chinese all up in there controlling it and all these different aspects and it's all this different stuff. Trump warns everyone to get out of Tehran. So this is the big talk tonight. You don't do this unless something absolutely huge is going to go down. And he's a ton of people now. I don't know if they're going to show it here on this one, but they're evacuating the city. I showed bombs dropping. there was people trying to flee. There was like backed up traffic. People trying to get out of Tehran. So when Trump says this, they're taking it like, look, they're about to bomb this place, and everyone's trying to get out of Tehran. Which, I'm telling you, something is gonna happen. And again, the Mossad spent 8 months preparing these attacks, and they're bragging about it now. They're coming out and they're like, yeah, we were in there 8 months. That's how we were able to pull it off. And that's going to make Iran paranoid. You know, so we've launched a bunch of tankers from America. You know, that we're moving military pieces across the globe. Warships and everything else have changed course, heading toward this area. Because if they make a move, the next move could be that they cut off the Straits of Hormuz. If they do this, oil's going to go through the roof. Like, it's a huge, huge move. It's a suspected move. It's one they're probably going to make. I don't see why they would pass on it. Well, this says that they're already experiencing GPS jamming in the area. So it's going to start with electronic warfare, probably first. That's what we're seeing. Straits of Hormuz, again, if they shut it down, where nothing can pass through there, man, this could like escalate like slowly as it has been and like continue and drag on. The problem with this is this involves China and Russia in the back end. And China's going to make a move on Taiwan by 2027, and they're going to make a move when they think is best for them, the best time for them, most strategic. The best time for them really is if America was crippled. That's the scary part. Put their lights out. If I'm China and I want to make a move on Taiwan and I'm going to make this move, well, the very first thing is you have to put America on its tail. And be prepared to suffer the consequences, the backlash of it and for it. Now, they've got the troops in here to do it. As a matter of fact, they haven't kept it a secret. We all know it at this point. This is a setup. This is a setup. Just like towers being laced with explosives. This is a setup. What's about to happen is a setup. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it. It's because these criminals, these politicians, man, that sold us out, that got us here. Same ones that are about to push that big ugly bill on everybody. Totalitarian AI crap. I mean, are people going to start stepping up and holding these people accountable and start doing something about it? They're going to wait till it's too late. We're coming up with some big stuff. Infrastructure is being attacked. Let me tell you, if Iran and Israel are getting dismantled right now, if Ukraine and even Moscow and Russia front lines are being dismantled right now, what makes everybody think that you're so special that America cannot be touched? It's something screaming at me. Louder than ever. They're like, somebody's like throwing the bullhorn down and like jumping on the PA, screaming this at me. Going over the whole freaking store's intercom. Like, listen, something is about to happen. Can't you see? The blowback alone is about to happen. So let's look at Tehran. What have we done there? Well, we've crippled their infrastructure already. And yeah, you got to say us because it's the United States backing Israel, obviously, in the open. Let me play some of these clips. Look at this, man. This is what they're dealing with in the streets of Tehran now. People can't flush their toilets, can't take showers. Life has begun to become hell. Look at this. Look at the sewage going down the road here.
میدون قدس بالا رو زدن اینجا فاضلاب اشتراکی یه الان خیابون شریعتیه بالا سمت میدون قدس رو زدن مثل اینکه همینجوری فاضلاب زده بیرون اینجا رو که زدن تجلیل زدن اینجا کن چه اتفاق افتاد نگاه کن برو تو جوالیه هستی
Oh, man. Sewage, water, and everything else. Like, oh my goodness. And like, until someone could shut off a water valve, a main valve somewhere, and all this other stuff, like, this is the stuff that's unfolding. So all these people, you can guarantee, on the other side of the planet right now, they are chanting death to America. Do you understand this? Iran is. You know, all these other countries are. You know, definitely Russia, China. They want us gone. You know, we're breaking away from the EU and NATO, so it seems, here on the world stage, for whatever reasons here. And it like leaves us alone out here. If we get crippled, it's done. So, Israel strikes South Pars. What's so important about this? Well, South Pars is where all the oil and all that runs through. So they hit the water and the sewage. Now they've hit the oil. They've hit their nuclear. They've hit them in a lot of key spots. So this is basically Iran's economic lifeline, the gas fields. Okay? So it shut down the production of all their units when they did this. 12 million cubic meters, roughly 4.4% decrease immediately in their output from these strikes. Here's the crazy thing. All these things are done for a reason, right? Right? They're all well plotted and planned out. Right? So with that in mind, it looks like there's a plan here in play to cripple Europe and bring it to its knees. And it's got to be solely to control the people, the German people, the French people, all the people within, you know, every country that falls within the EU that's protected by NATO. It looks like there's a plan here to cripple them. And when you look at this, it starts to show it. It says that Europe's energy dependence, that within hours, the price of crude soared 14% to $73 per barrel. If it deepens, the energy poor Europe, who has to import from all these people, and even Russia, I say it all the time, how can they really be at war with Russia when all Russia's got to do is cut their supply off and they're dead? They just cut them off one winter and Europe's dead. That's how it works. That's how this world is a freaking stage, man. It's a show. It's a gimmick. When you see these are things just like that stand out, that they can't hide, that are glaringly obvious. Well, if it was like that, if you're about to nuke each other, then why wouldn't Russia just cut off the gas when it gets cold and just stop sending it and let you all freeze to death? Oh, but no, this pipeline stay open and they don't get bombed and World's a stage. World's a stage. But what this does is they were getting, it says, around 58% of the European Union's total energy consumption must be covered by imports from outside. Dude, that is huge. 60%, more than half of your consumption. That means you're dependent on other people in all these situations. And guess what? This just cut off another main way for Europe. Iran, right? What's another way that they're getting stifled? Well, Russia. In all this. So they want to go to war with Russia. Of course, with Russia is backed up by China. And who else? Iran. Like, what's this professor say? This professor warns that many European countries are in a pre-Civil War state. Really? You don't think that was by design, do you? You don't think Soros and the goons flooding non-assimilating migrants into the country for the past decade had anything to do with it, do you? The fact that you can't even go into Ireland and know you're in Ireland, you think you're in Africa, you don't think it has anything to do with it, do you? Huh? Well, I do. It's pretty obvious. And that's not a real civil war. That's bringing in an imposter civil war. Of course, there's going to end up being a war, a civil war, but it's not the one that they always wanted. They could never get any of our countries to ever just go to war with each other. They couldn't get us whites to go to war with the blacks or the Mexicans. You know, they just couldn't get it. They try, even to this day, even with the movement that's going right now. They still try their damnedest, but they just will never be able to achieve it. So the way that they go about achieving it is flooding in migrants, like, you know, they just did for 4 years in this country. And that's what's all over the place. Those guys will fight us in civil war. There's millions and millions of them. And, you know, if the Dems have it their way, they will tell those same migrants, even if they're rapists and murderers, that they'll protect them in their sanctuary cities, and that if they win the war, they win the civil war, it's their country. You're a citizen. Do you see how it works out? What they're being told on the other side? This is insane. So these people are being fed this crap. I mean, it goes all the way back to Joe Biden back when he was vice president, going down to South America and telling these people, like, go to America. And, like, they started hopping on trains. You remember that? Riding on top of them, inundating it. It all began back then. I mean, I've been covering this every step of the way the whole time. It's sickening at this point to see where we're at and see how we're sold out, man. Like a Trojan horse that gets snuck in or gets brought in the daylight. But like the soldiers sneak out at night to attack. That's what's about to happen. It's the best way you can ever describe this, especially the Chinese that slipped in here in the Trojan horse. And they're just waiting to attack all of our infrastructure. 2 shows ago, one of the main stories that I covered was that warehouses full of Chinese dudes are being trained every minute of every day on attacking U.S. infrastructure. You don't think they're ever going to do it? You think you're just going to train these dudes in warehouses every day forever? Like, no, they're going to pull the trigger. It's going to go live here very soon, any moment. They're showing you that they're set up. They're set up for it. They're ready. Like, this will, I believe, this world war has begun. If you look at the definition of world war, it states that when you have multiple countries fighting on a war front where they're sending troops and they're taking mass casualties on that battlefield, on that war front, okay? That is world war by definition. We are doing that all day long on several different fronts. The biggest is anywhere Israel turns its guns, okay? In the Middle East. The other is obviously Ukraine, okay? So, I told you before, it seemed like they were trying to merge the two. Like, as soon as they do that, as soon as they merge this as their one team, you're going to see clearly, there's no hiding it at that point. I mean, I don't think there is anyway, that they're on one side, China, Russia, and Iran, and all them are on the other. So, Zelensky, he says Iran poses a serious threat to Ukraine. Now do you see? Now do you see where they're taking this? Reason they've been taking the American equipment out of Israel, Patriot missile systems, and bringing them down to Ukraine. Shows you right there, telegraphs it again. The connection. So he's saying it right here, and he's called for it already before. To unify. There's a world war happening, and how can you not see it when you've got, just in Ukraine alone, all the NATO troops are dying there, right? And Ukrainian troops. But then Russian troops, North Korean troops, Chinese troops, they're all dying on that battlefield. And they're sending artillery, they're sending weapons, soldiers die. That's world war. It's world war. Like, we're there. We're in world war. We're just not at nuke flying level yet. And wherever, you know, however that may unfold. I don't even want to see it, but I think it's going to happen. I don't know to what scale. One, a couple. It better just be a minimal amount. I think it's going to happen. All the signs are there. They're telegraphing it. They are telegraphing it. Remember, just like the Chinese rover pick. Chinese rover pick had a mushroom cloud coming off of it for no reason about a decade ago. And they got the video still up on my channel. And when you go looking at where it's coming from that exact region between Kiev and Moscow. Huge nuke. It's just one. But it's enough to show you that something's going to happen. Remember, Japan was, two big ones. Nagasaki, Hiroshima, however you want to say it. And in the meantime, Russia is taking over 3 more villages in Ukraine. Like, dude, you guys better chalk up some kind of peace agreement, or Russia is just taking towns. They're making a huge buffer zone. Colonel McGregor turns to Trump and says, what are we doing? I thought you said you told your base you were not going to be about any wars, and here we're knee deep in on the doorstep of World War III. And you guys are acting like it's not the case. And it is. We're just one big event away. One big event away, guys, from this. What's this say? What does this one say? China joins Russia in condemning Israel's attack on Iran. There you go. You want to take 2 steps back and look at the bigger picture? Look where all the bad guys are falling into place, where the teams are falling into place, the sides. It's obvious here. And also with this, China backs Pakistan. Okay? And both China and Pakistan don't like India. Okay? So India, as I said before, is in a tough spot out there by itself. They're a part of BRICS, but in the most populated place on the planet, but they do have, I'm telling you, some strategic ties with the U.S. government, in our military, in all this. Remember Ramaswamy and Elon coming out months ago, and they were like, oh, we're going to replace lazy Americans with Indians. We're going to bring them here and all that. And then they kicked Ramaswamy out of the picture real quick after that. Yeah. They've got ties to India militarily and all that. The U.S. does. It would be its strongest connection in the region. You think if they would pass on that? I don't. So, man, India finds itself in a tricky spot out there, man. And if you're the world elite and you really want to reduce the number of humans on this planet, if you're not going to do it with bird flu and you're going to do it with nukes, and you're going to do it with bombs, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Sorry, India, you're the most populated place on the planet. There's a huge chunk of your people that are going to go bye-bye. That's how this world power sees it. China seems to not care about liquidating its own people. India, I don't know. That's leadership. Every country's different. We're sold out to different levels, but man, we're all sold out. Spy satellites uncover a massive stealth flying aircraft at a Chinese base, and some are saying that it's a warning sign, that they put it out there basically, obviously, to be seen, because everything is seen constantly from space, from satellite imagery. And it's basically, it's like a warning. Like, look, we've got them too, that if you want to play that game, we will roll out ours loaded with hypersonics, and we could start dropping bombs too. Like I'm telling you, when it goes live with China, it's bad news. Mark Andreessen here is saying that he believes we're entering a Cold War with Russia and China, and that we must win the AI race to prevent the CCP from installing their way. Man, this is a setup. They put our lights out. It's over. They will advance. They will advance. It's just that if they put us on our tail, they will advance. That just like that. The recovery time it will take for the United States several years after being put on its tail will be all it takes without having to fire any of the shots. It will be enough to stifle us and have them take the lead. Especially if the lights are put out large scale, the banks are attacked and all the infrastructure is attacked largely. It will take time to recover from that. We will not be in a position to do anything else but recover. And what's crazy is if it comes to our grid, we're going to have no choice but to build something new and do something new. And you can't do it the old way, obviously, the old crappy grid. And you would have to get your parts from where? China. This is a setup. Whole thing's a setup. Whole thing's set up. Telling you, don't you ever forget it. Oh, Zuckerberg's new AI chief warns of China's unprecedented tech theft operation, where they're in everything. So Zuck goes and hires this. What's he, CCP2? Like, oh my gosh. I mean, for all I know, Zuck's married. Isn't Zuck's wife he's married to CCP. Oh my gosh. Zuck's married to CCP. It all makes sense now. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it all makes sense now. Oh no. We're done. We're done for. America's strategic pivot from a multi-theater security front to a China-focused deterrence. That's what our military guys are saying. That's what the headlines say right now. All the focus going toward China. They should be the number one military thing on our minds. So I'm going to play this piece real quick, and I can't stand Tulsi Gabbard. I can't stand the way she talks to the camera and all this other stuff. But she is telegraphing a nuclear attack out of nowhere. This is what she was meant to do and how she's meant to operate. Again, she's an establishment goon. I can't stand this woman. But anyway, you got to take from it the warning, though.
I recently visited Hiroshima in Japan and stood at the epicenter of a city that remains scarred by the unimaginable horror caused by a single nuclear bomb dropped in 1945, 80 years ago. It's hard for me to find the words to express what I saw, the stories that I heard, the haunting sadness that still remains. This is an experience that will stay with me forever. This attack obliterated the city, killed over 300,000 people, many dying instantly while others died from severe burns, injuries, radiation sickness, and cancer that set in the following months and years. Nagasaki suffered the same fate. Homes, schools, families, all gone in a flash. The survivors, the hibakusha, they carried the pain of extreme burns, radiation sickness, and loss for decades. Survivors of this attack were asked to put in painting.
All right, so I'm not going to play this whole piece. Why? With everything going on in the world right now, with all the madness happening, is Tulsi Gabbard taking a vacation trip over to Japan? And why would they spend the money and put this whole propaganda piece talking about this? Timing is everything. Why? Why right now? Why did she even take this trip? Why is this even a thing? Why are we even talking about this? They're telegraphing a nuclear strike. They're dropping the seeds to the masses. You only get so many warnings. I'm telling you, she just did it, and she just dropped it to the masses. That's the sign. That's the warning they get. It's how black magic operates. This way they can tell you that they told you, because that's part of the rules. They have to tell you. Do you understand this? This is all black magic, man. These are witches and warlocks working their magic on a large mass. And that's like the biggest prize, is when they can all together work behind the scenes and trick or control the masses in this magical way. They love it. And they'll all play their part to do it gladly, because you're never taught these things. The establishment and everybody on the other side of that wall, like people that live in DC and work for the beast, it's a whole different thing, a whole different way of being, a whole different life, a whole different everything. Like they're taught even a whole different way, okay, of everything. Like I personally know of individuals that live in the DC area, region, that are a part of the whole working for the alphabet gangs and all this other stuff, not like spies and all this stuff, but doing other technical stuff. And like they basically were taught different. Like most of you would be taught that Lucifer, as your Bible states, gets in a fight with, Michael. He's cast down, the dragon's cast down all this out of heaven, kicked out of heaven. That's how the story goes. You know it, I know it. A battle went down, and they were cast down to earth. Okay, right? Do we got that clear? You know what they're taught. You know what they're taught. They're taught he chose to come down here, that no one else would do it. And he rose to the occasion. He chose to be the one because he would be greater than God if he did it. And they teach this whole other ideology, that he's a hero, not an outcast. Do you see? Like, what do you know about that? Huh? You wonder what all these Masons and all these, they worship the fallen. Who are the fallen? The fallen are a life form. There are species, and there's several that are here right now, overseeing this. I could sense them. They're here. They're the life form here. It's very intelligent. Several different life forms that are here. Problem is this is very low frequency based everything in this realm. And a lot of them are not good. Everything that here is basically locked here with us, right? The good guys literally observe, the archangels, Uriels, Raphaels, Michaels. They're sent down for specific tasks at certain times to do certain things, but these other life forms are here, and I don't know. Some of it seems rather obvious to me, and I wonder how other people can't see it so clearly. Like with the flood, like with Noah, like with everything else. You look at your Bible and it tells you that after the flood, we're only 120 years that we can live. You can only live 120 years. We were recreated. A different species was made. That's what we are. Call it human. Okay? But everyone pre-flood was not human. Methuselah, Noah, all of them. They lived hundreds of years. They were a different species. They might have been like us in many ways, giant form, this and that, but they were not the current version that we are, is what I'm trying to tell you. And it's obvious. And that to me is earth shattering. It says it all. It says that if you go and you find one of these bodies, it's not going to be like digging up grandpa or great grandpa in a grave. We're all humans. If you dig up something if you dig up something pre-flood, there's legends that it talks about in the Bible, any of their bodies. Just as we said with Gilgamesh, they found in Iraq. He would have been a giant. He would have been a different being. The anatomy of the body would have been different completely. They were capable of living hundreds of years. They did not hide this from us. It's just people think like cavemen, and they look right past it all. And it's just like, no, slow down and look at what they're saying. Look what they told you. Look at what they put right in front of you. Dissect it. It's obvious. We are not the same species of what Noah even was. And none of you even want to talk about it. This is the real deal. Prove me different. You can't. Because I speak the scripture. That's where I base all my stuff comes from. Now, some folk tale comes right out of the scripture. And even the scripture that they keep hidden from you. And see, that's what's helped me see the bigger picture. Is actually filling in those holes. If you just stay reading just your good book, the Bible alone, you're never going to see it. You're never going to see, when you start to see the book of Jubilees, the book of Giants, and all this stuff, the book of Enoch, and everything I'm telling you is true. It's real. It's written right there. It's the historical fact and text. That's the religious book, the religious stuff that I adhere to. Right there, the scriptures, all of it. And it paints a full picture of what this place was. They just seem to want to dumb down current time masses. They don't want to think about it. They don't want them to do anything but just take orders and sit there like a bump on a log. But it kind of blows my mind that more people don't see this for what it is. That how is it that I can simply look and I can tell you what I'm telling you right now, and I'm not making it up. Let's go read your book. Like, it's been there the whole time. Like, everyone has just like been thinking like a caveman or not cared. I don't know how to even put it. Like, or thinking like with rose-colored glasses on, like take them off. Like, you need to see this clearly now. Like, we're different from what even your biblical forefathers were. It's time people start to see that, to know that, and accept it, and speak on it. Because if you find one of their bodies, it's going to be huge. It's not, I mean, physically, literally. It's going to be a giant, probably. You know, giant stature. Anywhere from 8, 12, 15 foot. All that good stuff. You know, I'm not talking about all these other giant groups that we go on and on about. I'm just talking about the biblical guys themselves, man. But that said, where are we at? Some of this stuff is really interesting to me. I don't know about you, but like, I'm all about the truth. It's all I want to know is the truth. Uncover the truth. Go digging up the truth. That's one of the biggest disappointments with this life. I wish that all of you were free, where you didn't have to go slave to pay bills and do all that stuff on the daily. That you're free to where if I said, guess what, tomorrow, pack up all your things, everybody meet me here, and we go off to an ancient place in this country, and we explore it. We do it for a few days, whatever, and we go off to. That's what we should be doing with this world, with our life, with our days, with our energy. Seeing this world for what it is, not in a rat race and stuck in it. We don't even have enough time to explore, to even try to figure out our true history. And we're never going to if we stay stuck in the race. So I wish. That's the biggest disappointment with this life. One of them. It's just the lack of being able to take advantage of doing that. Explore this place. Learn. Excel. Grow. You know, all those positive things. For someone that wants us to do so much positive, where's the opportunity? This place is a dark, evil place. And I'm ready to leave and never come back. That's for sure. Why would you want to go back to a jail cell, prison cell? That's what I feel like this is. Like, I don't know what I did. Did he captured? Like, what I do? Like, in another life, you strip my memory. Like, did I deserve to be here? Is it just part of a cycle? Is it could it be a one and done thing? I hope so. Because I don't want to come back here at all. At all. Not this one. But see, I believe a Messiah is building a new earth, new heaven, new earth. And I have a better place to go. So I wish you guys well fighting this fight. If you got anything you want to get to me, let me show you this. I'm gonna show you a clip here real quick, and thank you, Spiro. This is a shot of everybody leaving Tehran because, you know, I don't know. One day you're gonna wake up and you might just decide, oh well, it's World War III. I'm declaring it's already begun. I don't know if you're waiting for nukes to fly, or I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are attaching World War III to nukes and always have in their mind, and they're not going to officially accept that it's begun or even there till a nuke flies. So it could just be one, a tactical nuke. It doesn't matter. When a nuclear bomb hits a city, World War III will officially be talked about in the open as being begun. Look at this traffic. Man, reminds you of like LA around Christmas. When I can recall the holidays, everybody trying to get out of town, whatever. Like, it's bad. It's Tehran, backed up, bad. Man, it looks like they're even driving down the other way on the other side, the wrong way of the highway. I don't know, guys. That's sure a sign that they're probably going to bomb it again. So, would not be surprised at this point. I pray to the Most High that innocent lives are spared, but it seems every day babies' heads get blown off, and I just don't understand how higher power sits back and watches this. You want us to do all this good, but I don't understand something sits back to this degree and watches it. I understand this is a test. Man, where's the fine line? Just as Noah prayed to God right after the floodwaters came down and said, it's too much. The jinn are too much. Please, Lord God, suppress them. Take a fraction of them away. Something like ease the pain. I'm calling for the same thing. For the Lord God to ease it. I don't know what else to do. It's going to take a higher power to stop all this madness, I feel. No one man. No Gentile Messiah, for sure. It's going to take a higher power coming down. Check this place. You know what that means. That means we've got trib. We're walking right into tribulation. That's where we're at. And keep eyes on Israel, Iran, even Syria at this point, Damascus, any of these frontline places, these biblical type of places. And yeah, man, it looks like ran past 11:11, top of the hour, 11:21. Go ahead and shut it down. And I'll look to be back here on Wednesday for the next one. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Trying to cover all this madness. Dropping videos every day over here on YouTube. So check in the afternoon. If you don't see a notification, there's stuff popping off or something. Usually by around 1 o'clock, I've got a video dropped or something on whatever's going on. Trying to keep you posted and updating over on X. I can't drop a YouTube video for every single thing that pops off, but I try to hit the bigger thing, and then all the other breaking news I'm kicking out as it's happening on X. Make sure to follow me there, or you're missing a lot of breaking news. And Kendall, thank you for the coffees, the love. Thank all of you guys here tonight, all the someones, Beach Girl, Lowrider, Tara, all you guys, man, support the channel. Anybody that's new to the channel, welcome to the underground. I appreciate the support. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email to hit up. Thank you, Boomer. Much love to all you guys. Steve, I appreciate it for real. All you guys always joining, sharing, liking, being a part of the fight, man. I love you guys, for real. Stay fighting a good fight. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some underground world news live. Much love. Hopefully this music's working. Thank you, Eon. Again, thank you, Eon. Stealth mode. Mayhem. Ava, off grid. Gunther, Academy. Soul, Steve. Much love. Thank you, E-Fits. Paul Walker, Deanne, Mary, Roddy, ZP, Gregory, Randy, much love all you guys.